Hey guys, the WalterFootball.com After Dark show for July 18, 2025. We're going to do another best ball draft tonight with a special guest. Before we intro that and get into the best ball draft, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit the link in the description for the merch store. As always, I'm wearing something from the merch store. It's our new Watson and Tucker massage parlor t-shirt. Get your happy ending today. Just made this one. I walked into Wawa today and some lady looked at me and she like shook her head. So I don't know if she recognized that or looked at the CD picture on the shirt, but you can get that as well as anything else here in the merch store. You could change the color of the shirt. You can get long sleeve, you can get hoodie, you can get women's tank top, you can get infant onesie if you want to get that for your nephew or your son. Piss off your sister or wife. That's the way to do it. 15% off sale right now. So actually I think it's 20% off if I refresh it. So yeah, there you go, 20% off sale. So get a shirt or a mug or one of our aprons. That's a great way to support this. You can go to Amazon, buy my books. The most recent one is Jerks to the College Years, where I made fun of people I met at college. So it was a good time writing it. I think you guys have a good time reading it. Also, please consider super chats, super stickers. That's the best way to support the show. It really is, just because YouTube ads don't play all that well, and anytime you guys super chat us, it's like 8x so like what we usually make. So just really appreciate it. I'm gonna log into a draft right now, but while we wait, I'm gonna intro our guest tonight, which is Smitty from the Fantasy Football Show. If you haven't watched the show, definitely check it out. He has great live streams. Highly recommend it. Great discussion on fantasy football and whatnot. So Smitty, how's it going?
I'm good, bro. Can I make a slight suggestion to your apparel line?
Sure.
Can you include like a towel, like a small towel?
Okay, yeah.
You go with that shirt, one of the Deshaun Watson size towels that he brings with him when he goes. I think they're about this small. And
I'll make extra small towels on purpose.
it could be a package. You could buy the shirt alone, or you could buy the shirt and the towel.
That's a great suggestion. That is a great suggestion. I'm definitely going to do that. I'm going to do a regular towel and like an extra small towel, the Sean Watson special size.
Yes.
That is awesome. I'm gonna work on that this weekend for sure.
Okay.
Do you want to intro yourself for those of you who haven't, for people who haven't heard of you?
Yeah. So I'm Smitty from the Fantasy Football Show, and I guess in one sentence I'd say I pride myself in being live whenever news breaks. So if there's ever any news, look, Schefter, Rappaport, those guys, they break the news. My goal and job is to go live almost immediately whenever any big news breaks, to break it down, to digest it and figure out, make heads and tails of it. So that's kind of what my presence is, but been doing it 23 plus years professionally. Was on radio for 19 straight years, longest running fantasy football terrestrial radio show on NBC Sports. I went to NBC, CBS, bounced back and forth. But I've been doing it. I'm a dinosaur in the industry. I've been doing it since 2002, 2003, and I love it, man. I couldn't think of a better job. So.
Oh, yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, we've been doing it forever. I've been around. Like we're both dinosaurs in this. Yeah. In this genre for sure. No, you're absolutely right. Like, it's funny because I do live reactions on the website. You do it on YouTube. And like whenever I type up like a disaster grade or a grade for a signing, as soon as I put it on Twitter, the link on Twitter, I see like you are going live. I'm like, that's always the case. So guys, definitely check out the Fantasy Football Show. Smitty, great show. I listen sometimes. I was listening the other night. We were talking about number one running backs, like who can be the RB1. Just outstanding discussion, I think. So
thank you. Yeah, surprise RB1, surprise everything. I mean, the Rashee Rice stuff was great to break down today. I mean, that was a crazy situation. I'm sure we'll bring that up when we get to that pick. Real quickly, is this one QB?
Yeah, this is drafting. So you mentioned you draft on underdog, right?
Yeah.
This is almost the same things. One quarterback, two running backs, three receivers, one tight end, one flex. It's full PPR, where it's underdog's half PPR. This is full PPR.
Perfect.
I think that's the only difference, and maybe a slight other difference is that we go 20 rounds instead of 18. But I think that's the only difference. I haven't drafted an underdog. I do exclusively DraftKings.
Okay.
But how we're going to break it down is you're going to do the odd rounds. We're going to do the even rounds. We have the 10th pick, so we're up in a few selections here.
Okay.
Saquon Barkley went first overall. So I always ask everyone who comes on, like, who would you take number 1 overall? But like, we'll do that after you pick because you're going to be up in 2
Yeah.
selections right now. So
Okay.
here are the best players available. You can enlarge it if you haven't
Yeah.
already. So
Lamb. Okay. Lamb just went.
Lamb just went. We have one more to go. So McCaffrey, St. Brown, Collins, Genty, Henry, Thomas, H.N., etc.
I'm going Genty. I'm going to leave you with a decision on what to do around. Yeah, Genty to me he could lead the league in rushing. I truly believe, especially the coaching staff. This particular situation, he's getting 320 carries, probably 5 yards a pop. That's 1,600 yards. This guy could lead the league in rushing. I love Genty.
Yeah, and something else is that Pete Carroll's son is the run game coordinator, and do you think Pete Carroll will want his son to be a head coach? Like, having the league's leading rusher is an easy way to do that, right? So
yeah,
I think Genty, like rushing wise, he could definitely get there. I don't know if he's going to play on third downs right away, but he's definitely one of the better first round prospects we've seen in a while. I was hoping for Brian Thomas Jr. He's gone. So it's going to be my decision. I don't want to go double running back to start because that kind of like boxes us in. Like if we have a great value in round 3 for running back, H.N. just went anyway. Henry's like 1,000,000 years old. You can still get there, but I'd rather go elsewhere. So it goes between London, McConkey, or Brown. I don't want Bowers, so we just took Genty. I think I would go with A.J. Brown. I don't understand why he's going second round. He was going late first round last year. And it feels like nothing has changed. They lost Mekhi Becton, but I still think that he's a great option. I like McConkey too. London feels like he has a higher floor but lower ceiling. But this is best ball for $2 million for first place. When you get to if you get to the finals, you go against 1,000 people. So you need the upside. So I think Brown has more upside. What would you have done in my shoes if you were drafting at 2 or 3?
I would probably say I would have went London without much of a hesitation, but I understand the AJ Brown drafting. I mean, there's total argument there, but yeah, London is my boy, and
Okay.
I just think he has a chance to really be one of, if not, the most surprising second round players in fantasy this year. So I'm very much on the London train. I think, he's a top 5 in so many categories last year with only 3 games of Penix Jr., but if you extrapolate out his 3 games, which is not smart science, because there's only 3 games, but it's like 1,900 yards, 200 plus targets. And, so I just think he's going to go absolutely ballistic. And on top of that, some worries about Phillies, losing a coordinator again. Hurts was struggling to throw the ball last year, regardless of how they finished. But you can't go wrong with these receivers right there. They're all so good.
Yeah, there are a bunch of good ones. It feels like there are a lot of good options at the beginning of round 2. Cassandra's saying I need 7,000 more shirt sales to cover the July best ball drafts. This is my 113th best ball draft. So my goal was like 350 by the end of the summer. So I'm actually behind. I'm going to Vegas next week, so I won't be able to draft there because it's Nevada. So I'm gonna be behind actually. But I always joke that like it's not really a joke because it's true. But this is a tax deduction, and if you do it live, it's that's one for you too, because you have to do it for your audience, right? Like so.
Yeah. And who got you into drafting again? I kind of forget who it was that maybe...
some guy on here. I don't know. you said it's funny because I asked you. You were on last summer. The first time we were on last summer, and I asked you this question. I'm like, I want to get into best ball, but why do it early? I was like, I'm gonna do it like the last week because like we'll have all the information. And you said, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you said that if you have an edge, that you can exploit it early. And I feel like I've had that sort of edge. Like I've drafted players like way above their ADP, or like just say below their ADP, which is now like it feels like the ADP has moved. For a lot of these players, and I feel like I've gotten some great bargains, like back in like March and April. So yeah, I definitely have to thank you for that, for all these videos. So I really appreciate it. This is like it's like crack. It's like so addicting to do these drafts all the time.
And when you're talking about like a person like you or me that's year round with what we do, we're gonna have a little bit of an edge over the average bear, just because we're absorbing it. And Yeah, like you could get RJ Harvey like around 9, 10, 11. You could get Travis Hunter in around 9, 10, 11, 12. Now he's going like in 4 or 5. So the deals, there's more deals to be had than the random injuries you can't control anyway, to a degree. Like you can avoid a lot of those risky situations to the best of your ability anyway. All right, we're getting close to this pick here, right? So
yeah, you're up in 2 picks. So best available: Josh Allen, Adams, Kyron Williams, McLaurin, Brees Hall, Evans, Daniels, Kittle, Cook, Hampton. I can go down more and more. But who got Allen? Allen went. So who do you like here?
I like. Are you okay having to solve the wide receiver problems if I keep smashing RB? Are you good?
Do whatever you want. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. I'm going to go Kyron here. I think Kyron's a top 5 running back.
Yeah,
I'll go Kyron. Top 5 to 10 potential running back. Not that there's so many good RBs, but I love Kyron. And getting Kyron and Genty, we have two potential top 5 to 7 running backs. AJ Brown, if he stays healthy and they do, keep him occupied enough to where he doesn't have to read books on the sideline, maybe he'll produce top 7 to 10 wide receiver numbers. So who are you thinking here with this next pick?
So, as you said, receiver, but I really hate round 4. I call it the dead zone. I don't like any of these players. Maybe Hampton enters the conversation because Najee Harris he got injuries on for fireworks. So I'm thinking maybe Hampton now because I haven't drafted him before. Evans is 32. He relies on speed. I don't really want that. I'm fine with drafting Jaden Daniels. We just went. Kittle went. Like I was talking about before, Metcalf, he was going around 5 before. Now he's going around 4. So I feel like, do you like Hampton?
I love Hampton here, and the fact that I don't see Travis Hunter yet, I'm okay with Travis Hunter in even the next round. I don't know if he would fall. It depends on the ADP.
Yeah, I got him the other day at 707.
Okay, wow. Well, the ADP is different here because on other platforms he's going in the 4 or 5 round territory. So
he was going around 4 right after the NFL draft when he went second.
Okay.
And then it felt like steadily drop. And like now he's going like mid round 6 most of the time. And now like the other day I got him in round 7. But that was an insane draft because I got like Hampton in round 5. I got I can't remember who I got in round 6. I think it was Ridley. But then I got like Pearsall round 8 and then Igbuka around 9. We talked about Igbuka when you commented on one of the videos I was doing. I love Emeka Egbuka too. Mm-hmm. He's someone I target in like round 8. But yeah, I mean like Hampton, I haven't been drafting him because Harbaugh's an old school coach, and they have Najee Harris who's never missed a game, and like he hasn't lived up to his first round potential. But like if he was a 3rd round pick, people would be like, wow, he's had a great career, 1,000 yards every season, never missed a game, like solid running back, And so he's there, but now he's missing time. Like he's on the inactive list, and every day that he's not there, like Hampton has a chance to steal the job. And I feel like Hampton's just too talented to not do that. So I think it's gonna be Hampton.
Well, when the news broke, I went live as I do, and initially, it was like, okay, it's superficial, but then the initial words were that superficial injury to the face, he should be ready for week 1, and that just smelled fishy from the jump before it even got revealed later that he was going to start on the PUP or the NFI. So it's like before that I was screaming on the live stream. I'm like, there's something wrong here. Like before the NFI list, you don't talk verbiage wise like week 1. You talk about, hey, on Monday morning he'll be fine. Right. Not hey, in week 1 he'll be good. So there's more going on behind the scenes. There was tons of testing, and then they said that he was seeing doctors from Stanford, and so it's like, come on, man, this is a superficial. You go to your primary care, physician. You take HMO, okay, hey doc, how do I look? But this is him going to Stanford. This is him going. That retina, cornea, whatever's scratched or damaged, this seems like a bigger deal, and people are making it out. And the ability for his eye not to have long-term damage, requiring him not to get hit, not to have anything touch it for weeks, that means he's losing an edge over Hampton, like you just said. So Hampton to the freaking moon. I love Hampton this year, and 4th round is a steal for Hampton.
Yes. Yeah, I definitely think so. Definitely on board the Hampton train. I'm going to draft him a lot. feel like his ADP is going to rise into the third round, but as long as it's round 4, I'm definitely willing to take him. As I said, like round 4, I feel like the dead zone. I really don't like any players here. Like Sutton, I like a little bit, but he usually goes to round 5, so this is kind of reach. We can talk about some of these other players. We had a couple comments. Rice must worry you. Yeah, I drafted a bunch of Rashi Rice. Not like a lot. I want to say, what is my ownership? I can pull it up here. I've drafted Rashi Rice in 9% of drafts, so it's not too bad. But I was under the impression he's going to be fine for 2025. So that's what was reported by everyone, and now he's going to be suspended. So yeah,
well,
I don't.
Yeah. There's a Washington Post report though that just came out that said that don't be so quick to assume that it's a suspension. It could be fines and stuff, but probably will be a suspension. But okay, so we're almost up here.
Yeah,
I'm going to say Travis Hunter here. I mean, he's not that far off from needing to be clicked anyway. So I love RJ Harvey. If we wanted to go one, if you like Hunter later, but I think Hunter's a little bit more risky to fall. So I would say Hunter, and then it's up to you, obviously.
Yeah, I'm down with Hunter. I mean, do you want to talk about why you like him so much? I'm going to click him here.
Yeah, I love Travis Hunter. I mean, he as a 5th drafted player, you're packaging in a lot more risk than as a 4th drafted player. But even on underdog where he sometimes can go higher, he's starting to fall in the 5 a little bit. But yeah, this is a player that I mean, the sky's the limit for him, and they're going to do a lot of manufactured touches that head in his direction, and he's going to do a lot of, I think, wide back work, because a lot of people think wide back is Deebo Samuel getting carries up the gut. That was when they transitioned from wide back to running back because their running back room was so injured. Wide back in the NFL, he's perfect for it, and that's essentially just you getting the ball out wide as a wide receiver, but you're taking it from the line of scrimmage and moving forward yourself. You're not catching it. The quarterback really has nothing to do with it. He's getting you the football. Jimmy Garoppolo would be like, here, please take it, Deebo. I can't throw. Just handing it to him practically at the line of scrimmage. I mean, he is perfect for that role. It doesn't get you injured more. You're playing. You're still getting, covered by DBs half the time. He's gonna thrive in the NFL. And Liam Cohen is the most perfect landing spot for him, because that is the one guy that's going to scheme up the world for him. And from the GM down to Liam Cohen, they love him. They want him on the field. Trevor Lawrence says he's going to throw interceptions in practice so that he can get Travis Hunter back on the offensive side of the football. Or he's talking about how he's going to mess up the plays so he can make it so he wasn't performing as well, so he could get him back on offense. He was joking. Dunze, huh? Okay.
Yeah, I like Odunze a lot. Charlie Campbell, who's the most accurate mock drafter, he has all these sources, and he talked to teams a year ago, and a lot of them had Odunze very close to Neighbors and Harrison, and so he's got all this talent. And his rookie year didn't go well, but like there's so many things wrong in Chicago last year. Like Caleb Williams sucked a lot of the time. The offensive line had issues. The coaching staff was awful. But now everything's better. Ben Johnson's there. He's going to scheme up stuff for his top players. Like Odunze is so talented. He could be the number 1 receiver in Chicago this year. The offensive line is so much better. Caleb Williams has more experience. Keenan Allen's gone. Yeah, they have Loveland and they have Luther Burden, but both those guys are injured in minicamp. And so I just think that Odunze is going to take a step forward this year. So what are your thoughts on that? I
mean, I loved him. I thought, if he landed in a better spot, he would have been super high on my rankings. I mean, Dunze, I thought he could flirt with Neighbors' value, but as soon as he landed in Chicago, it was a big nut kick. Just having him being not only playing for, in my opinion, I don't like Caleb Williams as a guy that's going to bounce back as much as people think, but I do think though Ben Johnson was able to turn Goff into a prince, and we had he might turn a little bit more into a pumpkin this year because he doesn't have Ben Johnson there. But I think that Caleb can be effective enough that this is a wide receiver in Odunze that should be able to do a lot with not even a little. I mean, he's going to be I think pretty productive and very involved. And Luther Burden getting banged up early on really pissed off Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
when Ben Johnson was talking about him the other day. He's just saying, you fall behind and, you can't get on the field, then you can't learn. So there's no question. There was some initial question when Burden got drafted. Hey, that's going to be Ben Johnson's guy. That's his St. Brown. And people were like, okay, maybe Odunze won't go crazy. I do have my concerns about Caleb playing in structure, but we'll see. Ben Johnson is definitely the guy that can probably try and, lift him up the best he can. I just don't know what it's going to look like consistency wise, what it's going to look like touchdown wise. But I think Odunze will get good yardage, good receptions, and then hopefully get 6, 7, 8, 10 touchdowns. It's possible. I love him. He's a great talent. Just didn't love his landing spot.
Yeah, totally agree. I'm not high on Caleb Williams at all. But if anyone gets the most out of him, it could be Ben Johnson, like you said. And I agree with what you said about Jared Goff. I think Detroit's going to take a major step back this year. I keep telling people they're not going to make the playoffs, and people look at me like I'm crazy, just because they won so many games last year. I'm going 9-8. I just think there's so many things wrong with that team, and I've been avoiding Detroit players like the plague. Like I've drafted Gibbs a couple of times, but like no one else. Like I just stayed away from everyone else. I don't know how you feel about that, but you're up in 3 picks anyway.
I think they take a step back for sure, but I don't know that I think that they still win the division probably. It'll just be a crawl to the division win.
I like Minnesota.
I think they could. Yeah, we'll see how McCarthy fares, but I'm not sure I'm totally sold on him yet. This next pick, I would say, where are you normally seeing these quarterbacks are creeping up? Are we going to be without Bo Nix or Kyler later if we pass on them here? It seems like we will, but
there's a chance they fall to us around 9, a small chance, but I'm okay with that. So I mean, yeah, you're open to take whatever you want.
Can you scroll down a little bit? Because right now I'm loving Bo Nix more than anybody else here. And the ADPs are so different over on this. Ludwig Buka for later. I mean, they'll be
I'm gonna take a minute.
for you.
You have 4 seconds.
Bo Nix.
I got him.
Sorry, I didn't realize.
These picks us quickly. Like I told you before we started recording. Whenever I do one of these and I debate with people, we miss on 1 or 2 picks like automatically.
Yeah. Sorry.
That happens all the time.
Bo Nix in 6-point per TD leagues. I'm not saying that this is. I assume this is 4. Yeah. But in 6-point per TD leagues, he outscored Jalen Hurts. He was number 7. And the fact that this guy is just getting going, he's scratching the surface. Didn't have RJ Harvey. Didn't have Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram could be a top 5 tight end. Harvey could be a top 7 to 10 running back. I love Harvey. Absolutely love Harvey. Harvey's a guy I would have probably grabbed at 6.3 if Odunze were gone and you're like, who do we grab? I love Harvey. Harvey's a smash in the 6th round. Henderson too, but I love Odunze. I don't think he made a mistake there. Harvey is a guy I tend to overdraft a ton. I got so many shares of him. It's crazy.
Does Underdog have they start 2 receivers or 3?
3 and then a flex. So 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, and a flex. I mean, depending on the tournament, but that's the typical.
Okay, I was wondering about that because this is 3 receiver also. So like receivers go very quickly, and it feels like around like the second half of round 9, all the receivers are gone. So I like getting these receivers early. I'm going to take Ibuka. I'm not going to try to get him in round 9 like I did the other day. That draft was insane. Like all the people just fell to me magically. Like it feels like I always get sniped by like 1 pick. Like I did one draft earlier today, and I had like 3 receivers lined up, and this was like round 17. I had 3 receivers lined up, and they went boom, 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 just like off the board. I'm like seriously, like how's that happen? But like that draft, it just felt like everything I wished for fell to me. So maybe that'll be the $2 million winner. We'll see. We have some comments here. Uncle Ted says Jay and Blue is a must draft. RJ Harvey is a must draft. Luke McCaffrey, the receiver to draft. I like Jalen Lane actually. With this, who you want? Timu Gibbs. Loveland was reported 2.0. Moore is the best receiver in the Bears. I think Odunze could be the number 1. Sutton and Bo Nix is a must. Line schedule was brutal too. That's another reason. Do you think Caleb would be better before the draft? I mean, I suppose that question's for you. Did you never like Caleb Williams or like never? Why is that?
I mean, I don't think he's got the. He doesn't feel like the kind of player that's going to survive this league for the long term. I mean, could he be somebody that could bounce around? I think he's with another team, in 2-3 years, just like, Fields with another team. And I like Fields a lot more than I like Caleb. A lot of Bears fans felt that way too. They're trying to forget that they felt that way, but that's still, it was a torn decision by the Bears fans. They were very, very up in arms about which way to go. But Caleb Williams, I mean, JD5 was the clear pick. I screamed it from my channel every single day. JD5 was the easy, and I'm so glad they didn't take him, because he would have probably not developed the same way. But JD5 was by far and away the best quarterback. Bo Nix blows Caleb Williams out of the water. Penix Jr. is going to be better than Caleb Williams this year. I just think Caleb Williams is very mid, and he could do well with Ben Johnson, just like Goff has. And Goff is very mid too. He's played remarkably well because of the system he's in, and how Ben Johnson can definitely make a player play a lot better than I think they're initially capable of playing. But he can't play in structure. Most of his offensive line stats are you can't even pin half of the sacks on the offensive line, because Caleb held onto the ball so long that the measurements for offensive line production stopped being measured at a certain threshold. So like everyone acting like the offensive line was the problem. They weren't. They were in the top 15 ranked prior to the season started, and they weren't dead last or even close to dead last when you look at the actual numbers of when you would blame something on the offensive line and when you transfer that blame over to the quarterback. I just think Caleb Williams holds on to the ball way too long, can't play in structure. And, it was 3 and out. And then at the end of games, when the defenses would back off and Caleb would scramble around, he'd score some points. But it's just, he's not a quarterback that I see leading a team to the promised land, which is what he was drafted to do. So at the end of the day, a bust. But will he survive in the league for a while? I think he could, especially with Ben Johnson there.
Yeah, I definitely feel the same way. It takes way too long. All right, we're up. Anyway, we're up. Is there any position you want? Receivers of Ike, Pittman, Higgins, Shaheed, Harris, Mims. Tight ends Warren, Kraft, Kincaid, Loveland, Likely. Running backs ATN, Warren, Dobbins, Scotabo, Charbonnet, Caleb Williams, McCarthy. Who do you want?
Let's go tight end real quick.
Warren, Kraft, Kincaid, Loveland.
I guess go Warren, since we're gonna probably time out here. My bad.
Okay, no, it's fine. It's tough to.
I like Warren. He's only cold.
I do too. Yeah, I like Tyler Warren too. I totally agree with what you said about Caleb Williams. Like, it just the processing information just takes forever with him. And, we saw that at the end of the Thanksgiving game where, he let all the clock tick off, and he had timeouts, and it just let the game end. And Eberflus got blamed for that. And then 4 weeks later, the same thing happened at Seattle. Just, I don't know, that was just so ugly to watch. So,
and climbing in mama's lap, weeping like a baby too. I mean, I don't know. It's not, I guess everybody doesn't love talking about that for whatever reason, but I mean, that also is not a sign to me that you're going to be the leader on the field that a team needs, and even when, he was being scouted to be the #1 overall pick, you had players on the Bears defense even saying, don't bring that Hollywood garbage to the NFL. You'll get eaten alive. And he's already rubbing people the wrong way, talking about winning more rings than Brady, and that he should have ownership of the Bears. It was just from the jump, it was just, it rubbed everybody the wrong way. And there wasn't a lot, that I felt like he was going to be able to, I don't know. I don't see him being an elite player. Like I said, could he survive? Yeah, there's a lot of talent around him, but this whole notion that the team was the best any rookie QB had ever been handed, and now it's not. How convenient is it to say that the line was bad, that the team wasn't good enough for him, but walking into this situation, it was the best situation any rookie QB had ever been handed. Everybody said it every day. And the Washington Commanders were gonna get JD5 hurt because the line couldn't block for him. He didn't have enough talent. And JD5 elevated everyone and kept defenses honest. So,
Bo Nix too. Bo Nix took his team to the playoffs. Daniels took his team to the NFC Championship, and yet Caleb Williams, who had the best supporting cast ever for a rookie, Didn't even make the playoffs. Like you're 100% right. Now he's
And
gonna
it's
have an even better cast this year and a better coach. So
yeah.
I do think that there's a decent chance the Bears go to the playoffs, but I think they're the worst team in the division. I'm not a fan of them at all. I have a friend who bet them to win the Super Bowl, and I'm like, why? And he's like, I think they're the best roster in the NFL, and Caleb Williams is going to take the next step. And I'm like, you know, like, do you realize that like only 2 first-year coaches have ever won the Super Bowl, and their quarterbacks are Joe Montana and Johnny Unitas? So I'm like, if you think Caleb Williams is on that level, okay, go ahead, but I really don't think so.
Yeah, but the problem is that there's only 3 wild card spots.
Yeah,
and if they don't win the division, you're talking about fighting against, okay, the Falcons and the Bucks. One of those teams is winning the division. One of them is getting one of the wild card spots. You talk about the Eagles and the Commanders. One of those teams is winning the division. One of them is getting the wild card spot. So there's one wild card spot left. If that's the way you look at it, it's the way I look at it, at least. You got the Cowboy. You got so many teams that are, in my opinion, going to be better options. You know, even 2 in their division that might be a better chance. So I just think that, I don't know. I don't see a playoff berth personally, but you know, anything can happen, and I'm not right about everything. I mean, we all miss stuff, so this could be something I would be wrong on. But when people come in and hate on my Caleb takes, I just tell them, well, was I right last year? And it's like, well, yeah, but what? I mean, so like right now I'm 100% on predicting Caleb's outcome. So I think we're probably, you know, we're probably dancing on the, you know, more of the what if side on the other side of this argument, not on my side. My side is, okay, he did exactly what I predicted him to do, fail, you know. And it's not that I'm rooting for it. I hope success for everybody, you know, but my job isn't to necessarily, you know, root for everybody. It's to try and predict what the outcome is going to be.
Yeah.
I'll try.
How you really feel about Caleb?
I'll try.
I definitely agree with you. I think there's upside for fantasy at least, but real life, I'm not sold on him. You're up in 2 picks. We have 3 running backs, 5 receivers, 1 tight end, 1 quarterback. Okay. So anything's open right now. Quarterbacks, we have Lawrence, Penix, Tua, Stafford, Bryce Young, Cam Ward. Running backs, Javonte Williams, Harris, Rashad White, Tootin, Ray Davis, Correndo. Receiver, Mims, Burden, Thielen, Brown, Kyle Williams, Quentin Johnson. Tight end, there's likely Jonnu Smith, Goddard. What do you think?
Without considering position, I love Penix Jr. and likely. And so if you think you want to, it's up to you if you think we should grab one of those as backups now, or if we want to go a different direction. I'll let you choose between those 2 if you like them, or just grab someone. I don't want you to time out. So
yeah, well, they're queued up, so we're not going to time out. So let's go Penix. How do you draft quarterbacks in an underdog? Like, do you take 2 or 3? Because I feel like that's something. It's like a strategy. I feel like, you know, people don't discuss enough. Like,
I do. I draft 3. I draft 3 every time, because your odds of outscoring, like in most of these tournaments, and I assume this one's the same, we're going up against this field of people through weeks 1 through 14, right? Yeah, you're going against these 11 people weeks 1 through 14, and the top 2 move to the playoffs. And then the playoffs, you play the 11 other winners, and then the next round you play the other 11 winners, and then in the final round you play 1,000 people. Yeah. So going into this with this group of 12, dominating the highest scoring position is super advantageous, and it almost locks you into advancing out of the group. So if we have, and I'm not even saying we dominated the quarterback scoring here, but I'll bully QB a lot, and that will involve drafting, let's say, a JD5 and a Mahomes, or drafting, you know, a Joe Burrow, who falls a lot of the time way too far. And I'll draft Joe Burrow, Mahomes. I'll draft Joe Burrow and Bo Nix. I'll sometimes draft Joe Burrow, Bo Nix, and Mahomes. Okay. And because I'm going to dominate the entire field that you're battling with, you know, so much at the highest scoring position out of all of them, you're really, really in a nice advantage. But they got to be at the right place. They got to fall to a place where you're still going to build around everything else. And what it comes down to for me is best player available. So if I'm at a point where a running back or a Buka or whoever is feeling like a better shot, then I'll punt that quarterback spot another round. But when I'm looking around and I don't like who is out there, like we were just doing, where it's like
Yeah.
Najee, no thanks. Javonte Williams, nah. I like Garendo a lot, so amazing pick. That would have been somebody I would have said next. Penix Jr. is a great pick there because, all things equal, I'd rather just go with that high scoring quarterback that can help us win a week in any given moment. But yeah, I love Bully QB. And what's great about Bully QB, and if anybody's wondering, like, should you do this in non-best ball? Hell no. Like, you should never draft 2 tight ends early, 2 quarterbacks early, because you will get it wrong every week, and best ball is decided for you. So if you draft, let's say, Burrow and Mahomes, and they both score 380 points and 350 points or whatever, that's what they're projected for, the combo is probably going to get you 450 because it's optimally going to be set for you each time. And so Bully QB is absolutely one of my favorite approaches.
Yeah, I like it. And you said it correctly. Like, it has to be best player available. Like, reaching for a quarterback is a mistake, or, passing on an Igbuka for a quarterback is also a mistake. And I try to get 3 as well. Like, sometimes I just don't get a third. And, like, all the quarterbacks I want are gone. And I'm like, do I take a Jackson Dart or Tyler Shockley? I'm just like, nah, I don't go for that. So sometimes I'll end up with 2, but most of the times I end up with 3. And, like, really, like, if one player gets hurt and then you have a guy on a bye, like, you only have like one option left, and like, what if he sucks? Then you're not scoring anything at the highest scoring position, which is just a nightmare. So I like it for that reason too. You said you're a fan of Garendo. I'm glad to hear that because I've drafted Garendo more than any other player in best ball. I have him in 70% of my drafts. So do you want to? I mean, I've said to my audience so many times about why I like Garendo. So do you want to back that up? Because I mean, everyone has heard that from me before.
Well, I mean, Christian McCaffrey, bilateral chronic Achilles tendonitis, not the tendonitis that the viewer is watching going, I had that in high school. You didn't have nothing in high school that Christian McCaffrey has. He's been the highest percentage of his offense over really any player ever, it seems, in the running back position. I love to know what the exact data is on that. I know he once was. Derrick Henry's up there too, but Christian McCaffrey has been through it all. And his Achilles deterioration is not something that you repair by going overseas and getting stem cell injections. It can help keep the flare-ups at bay. Yeah. But this is a good news, Smitty. If you like Isaac Garendo and want him on 100% of your teams, you've come to the right. Yeah, definitely. I think I own him. Let me pull up my
well, before you do that, you're up in 3 picks, so I don't want to.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and pull up the board, and then I'll look it up. But yeah, Garendo to me is a league winner, a total league winner. And McCaffrey playing a full season or even remotely closer, looking the same, is almost slim to none to me. Yeah. Go to the RBs real quick.
Eckler, Algier, Sampson, Wright, Chubb, Doodle, we call him in the show, Roshan.
Okay, Q Sampson, just in case we gotta take him last second.
Okay, receivers with Brown, Tillman, Besh, Leggett, Robinson, Dubs, Pierce. Stop there, and then tight ends: Jonnu, Ertz, Pitts. We could pair Pitts with Penix if you want.
Sure.
Strange.
Go Pitts. Go Pitts. It's fine.
Okay. Okay. Do you want to pull that up? We'll draft Pitts here. What you were talking about with Garendo. Yeah. With what you're talking about.
Yeah, let me see what my percentage of ownership is on that, because I know I have him in my top 10. That's for sure.
Yeah, because I'm asking this. The whole thing is total season points. It's just total season points. You don't play anyone head to head. You're just playing. They tally up all the points every week, and so it resets every week. So. Like 1 week, like your quarterback can score 30 points, and the next week scores 10. That's but he may not make it into your lineup in week 2 if he only scores 10. So like you have to try to get like the highest score possible at every position, and like those are the players that count for your overall point total, and then it adds up your point total through 14 weeks, and then the highest two scores move on to the playoffs, and then it's 1 week. Samson just went by the way, so I'm gonna be up anyway.
Okay.
So Jonnu Smith went. We can take a third quarterback, but I'd rather go with Tyler Algier or Jalen Wright. Let me see how the bye weeks line up here. So our running backs are 8, 12, 14. We have Jalen Wright's at 12, so we're going to go with Algier at 5. I guess he kind of sort of pairs with Penix, but not really. Anyway, do you have that pulled up yet? Or I can.
Yeah, I think it was 60% one, and then the main one is like 55 or whatever. So you got me on there, but I love Garendo is a league winner. Christian McCaffrey, the odds of him staying healthy if they do run him full time, and Shanahan is a one running back guy. I know they kind of should, and they might think about trying to keep him fresh, but even last time Shanahan was questioned about this when McCaffrey went down with the PCL last year. A reporter asked him, why don't you use Mason? Mason was playing great all year. This is after McCaffrey came back. Mm-hmm. And he said, we're not a team that runs two running backs. We run one running back. He's not going to change. So there's a high likelihood that if McCaffrey's healthy, he's going to get all the run and he's going to get hurt. Garendo proved he can catch the ball. Mason didn't catch any footballs, and it almost felt like when Mason was going crazy. And I was a big Mason and Garendo advocate. It's one of the biggest league winner calls that we had all year was the Mason Garendo combo, and everyone thought it was crazy to be talking about drafting a handcuffed backup, but it was so league winning to me. McCaffrey was my biggest avoid of all 2024. Yeah. But when Mason went in, he was doing great. Obviously, he's a fantastic running back between the tackles, but he didn't catch any footballs. And people thought maybe they only throw to McCaffrey. Maybe the offense is too complicated. Whoever goes in there can't do what they need to do to get involved. But as soon as Garendo went in, it was like Christian McCaffrey workload. So, and he's so quick. He's got that tremendous 4.3 speed. He's a big guy. And this is the best shot, in my opinion, of getting a McCaffrey replacement in that offense, and I think that I don't even think you could draft a player that would excite me more unless it was Genty or Harvey or something. But so he's got a lot of long-term value too, because he's going to be hard to replace. He's such an amazing dynasty hold as well. But this guy's 100 yards and a touchdown every game, 100 total yards and a touchdown every game he starts.
Oh yeah, 100%. I don't understand why he's going round 12. Like Jordan Mason is going round 9 usually. Like Cam Scatabo went round 9 this draft. Like Grendo, I'd rather just have Grendo over those guys, and yet he's going round 12. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But I'll continue to take him. But you're up in 2 picks. We have 2 quarterbacks, 5 running backs, 5 receivers, 2 tight ends. Is there any position you want me to look at? Quarterbacks here.
Man, these quarterbacks are not what I mean. You could go Aaron Rodgers if you wanted. I like Pat Bryant to cuff with to pair with Knicks.
I do too. Running backs with Doodle, Ford, Hunt, Hill, Elliott, Shipley. I like Shipley. Tight ends, we already have 2 tight ends, so we don't need one now. If you wanted Rodgers, you don't like the Colts quarterbacks. I've been drafting like Richardson round 17. We're not there yet, but So do you want anything else?
I would say if you think you're going to draft Pat Bryant, we could get Aaron Rodgers with my pick and Pat with yours if you like Pat Bryant. But
I think I'm going to take Shipley. I think.
Okay, go Pat Bryant then.
Okay. All right, so we took Pat Bryant. Shipley's another guy I like a lot. Kind of curious in your take there, because to me he feels like Garendo light, where Barkley doesn't have the Achilles tendonitis, but he had so many touches last year. Just feels like he's almost an injury waiting to happen. Like I don't want to say that because he's one of the best players in the NFL, and like he could be like Tomlinson, where he's just atop the fantasy rankings every single year. But given that he had such a long season last year, and now Madden cover, new coordinator, new guard with Becton gone, just feels like there's so many like tiny landmines. It feels like one could go off, and if he gets hurt, Shipley has shown that like he's super talented. Kenneth Gainwell's gone. Just feels like he's going to take over that role. Even if Barkley stays healthy, like he's going to be on the field 3rd downs. And if Barkley goes down, like you're going to have this is another potential league winner. So what are your thoughts on Shipley?
Yeah, I don't love Shipley, but I 100% agree with your assessment on Barkley, and Barkley's a guy that I don't want to say I'm like you. You got to be careful with it because he's such a monster, and if he does stay healthy, you're putting your foot far into your mouth. But But the thing is, what it comes down to for me is the players around Barkley's ADP. I love so many of them a little bit more that I find myself never drafting Barkley right now. And he was one of my biggest drafted players last year. I loved him. He was a second round player. He's a league winner. And so, I feel like, when someone says, "Oh, you hate Barkley," I didn't. Barkley was on my re-breakout list last year. But this is a different cost of entry, and he had 430 plus carries in the 371 carry curse. Some people watching right now might not even know what that is, but even back when you and I started out in the industry, that was like the biggest number people would throw around it because nobody conquered it. You got 371 carries, you were done. Not for the next year. Your career was over. You just broke. DeMarco Murray hit 371. He broke. He was never the same.
Yeah, remember Larry Johnson for 415 that one year with Herm Edwards?
Broke. And so Barkley having the injury history that he has, as you mentioned, mixed with the 430 carries and 470 plus 470, 480 total touches, and he looked really sluggish in the Super Bowl. What I'm saying is what's probably, in my opinion, going to happen is the Joe Mixon season. He probably gets rejuvenated because he's Barkley. He starts off hot and then he plays great all year, and people are going to say, "You're fading Barkley. Look how good he is." But then he's going to just something's going to happen in week 9, 10, 8. And if you don't trade him high, if you do draft him, sell him in near double-digit weeks, I think he's going to leave people hanging. Just because he'll break down. Even if he plays if he's going to be Barkley and deserving of your number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4 overall pick, he has to get massive production again. So you have 430 carries last year. With how many can he take until he breaks? What is that? What's that? Where's that breaking point? Is it going to be another 400 carries or will it be 250? So he'll get 200, 250 carries and then boom, he's just going to break. So give me Gibbs, give me Genty, give me wide receiver, in that territory. I just can't draft Barkley there with the mileage and the injury history combined.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's sad. So I'm kind of surprised that you don't like Shipley as much, given what you just said about Barkley. Is that just a talent level thing with him, or do you think Dillon is gonna be the RB2? Like, why don't you like Shipley?
I guess fear of that. I do like him. I wasn't suggesting I don't like him, but I don't know that I'm expecting him to just, step in and become a world star. I think he's going to be productive. I think they could try and spread it around. I think things could fall apart a little bit. I don't think things will be the same. I mean, Hurts had what? What do you have?
Sorry, you're up. It's kind of stuck up on us. These are the quarterbacks if you want a quarterback. Daniel Jones, Russell Wilson.
I'll leave that to you.
Okay, these are the running backs: Giddens, Smith, Mitchell, Corum.
I'm going to go bold. Brashard Smith. He's one of my favorite picks right now. I love him. I know there's a chance that he doesn't play as much as we want early on, but they've talked about throwing the ball to him early, getting him involved in third downs early. I think he's a fantastic win a league player. He's got that. He's got a little bit of that next Bucky Irving, hidden gem, monster talent. I like him a lot.
I've been drafting him too. He's one of my favorite late round guys. I was talking to it. We have a guest on sometimes, and he called Tyron Tracy last year. He has a knack for nailing these late round running backs, and I asked him who he likes this year, and he said Brashard Smith. There's no guarantee Pacheco's healthy. It's kind of scary. I'm going to take Daniel Jones. I know you don't like that, but we only have 2 quarterbacks, and he's the only viable guy left. I don't want Russell Wilson. And Daniel Jones had a great fantasy year in 2022 because he runs a lot. And if he keeps the job, then he could have another good season. I just think this is going to be the best supporting cast he's ever had in Indianapolis. Just because Giants have been so bad.
Good news is that even if he loses the job, Penix is by week 5. So if he can get through that, then we'll be safe if there's any sort of, injury to both other quarterbacks. Then Penix is by week free for the rest of the year. So it's actually not the worst thing in the world. What were we talking about? We're talking about
Brashard Smith.
Oh yeah, Brashard Smith. And then before that, I was saying something else, and I sidetracked myself. Oh, Shipley. Yeah. I guess what did Hurts throw for last year? Was it 2,900 yards and 18 touchdowns? This is it's kind of shocking to me how or 23 20 is that including the so 36 and 23, is that just regular season, or is that including the entire?
I think it's just regular season. I'm not sure though. Yeah, I don't know.
20, but Hurts is I mean, he didn't have a great season. He struggled a lot throwing the ball, and because they won the Super Bowl, because he's so good at running the ball, I just think that there's potential problems in Philly this year if Barkley gets injured. I don't think they can lean on the passing attack without their coordinator, running into like last time they lost their coordinator when Shane Steichen went to Indy. They had a step backwards type of year, and then they had to regroup and they came in. Now the defense is good enough.
Yeah.
That we'll see what happens, but I'm trading Jalen Hurts in Dynasty. I pulled off a trade the other day that I think was a fantastic way to go about it. Is I love Bo Nix quietly as much as Jalen Hurts for Dynasty. I truly do.
Oh wow. Okay.
And the fact that you can get a whole lot more, it's a fantastic move. Or even Mahomes plus something, or Nix plus something. The moment they take away the tush push, which the commissioner is going to go after again next year, but more organized and get it done. It's a whole different ballgame. I'm not saying he has a run for 9 TDs still, but Bo Nix runs for 9 TDs. So Bo Nix is running for 7, let's call it 7 to 9 TDs. Hurts runs for, let's just call it 10 without the tush push. And they're both running for similar yardage. Now Hurts has no edge really on Bo Nix, who throws for, let's say, 4,000 yards and 34, 35 touchdowns. And Hurts can't sniff that. The discrepancy between the passing is far greater than what will be the discrepancy between the running. Not to mention, Hurts is constantly getting banged up. Sirianni will never tell you what injuries anybody has. And he's slowly getting, kind of worn down from the tush push, because it's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah. No, it's not. That's definitely for sure. We had a question about where Rashee Rice went. He went at 212, but this is misleading. I think this guy Margera was on auto draft because he took Ezekiel Elliott in 1701. So unless he really likes Elliott for some reason, this guy has been on auto draft. So I wouldn't read too much into that. Where are you taking Rashee Rice? Because we talked about that earlier. Like we get to it. I honestly have no idea anymore. I was taking him late round 2, early round 3 before. What do you think about Rice now?
I think that if you especially considering best ball, where it's not like you're starting 0,
Right,
getting 0 points in his role. What if you put in a guy that scores 11 points versus, let's say, he's scoring 15? Am I up now?
You're up in 1 pick. We need 1 tight end, 1 receiver. So these are the receivers: Null, Davis, Wester, Atwell, Bobo, Beckham.
Is Thornton there? Thornton
No, he's gone. These are the tight ends: Sanders, Ferguson, Higbee,
Ferguson.
That's funny. I always take Higbee. I'm on the Higbee train.
Ferguson.
Okay, interesting. Higbee's my second highest owned player, just because round 19, snap Higbee.
I like him, but
yeah. I have to decide.
Yeah. So as far as where were we at?
Rashee Rice.
Yeah, right. Okay, so Rice, to me, I still think he's going to be like, let's say he's scoring, let's just call it 15 points per game or whatever, depending on your scoring format, all that, versus like an 11. Like you're losing 4 or 5 points a game for the 3 games, let's say he's out.
Yeah.
And, you're still getting what I believe to be a top 5 to 7 wide receiver per start once he's back. With the fact that right now you're drafting him assuming it's 4 games, but it could be 2, it could be 1. The Washington Post said, don't be so quick to even think he'll get suspended. I mean, is there a chance, and I'm joking, but I'm not, that Goodell doesn't pick up the phone and Margaret on the other line says, please hold for Taylor Swift. And it's like, I'm not coming to another game if my boy Rashee Rice. Like, this is Goodell's team. This is the league's favorite,
right,
golden child. It's hard to say, but I would say, assuming he gets suspended 3 games, I think in round 5 is an absolute steal. I think round 4 becomes not dangerous, but it becomes, there's so many other players I love that I know you said you didn't like 4 too much, but like Hampton's there, the quarterbacks are there.
Yeah.
Underdog ADP is a little different, so I love the 4th round. I take, I would rather have scroll up to the 4th round if you could. And
yeah, I was actually I wanted to ask you about the 4th round because we're done with our picks. I when I said I hated the round 4 players, I didn't mean quarterbacks and tight ends. I meant running backs and receivers in this range. And now Hampton changes with Harris there, but every other player taken round 4, I don't like. So if you want to real quickly talk about round 4, and I'll give you like my quick rundown, like. Starting with the non quarterbacks, non tight ends, and we took Hampton, but DJ Moore, it feels like it's like he even said he expects a lower production this year, and I think that Odunze could pass him. Mike Evans is 32, and he relies on speed. Like I feel like he could be done. Sutton has been I've gotten Sutton round 5, so just 406 doesn't feel great. James Cook, there's touchdown regression with him, and there might be a holdout too. Pickens, just head case. I don't know. He's been going around 5 as well. Xavier Worthy. If Rice is suspended 4+ games, then he looks better. But as long as Rashee Rice is there, like Worthy's target share is going to go way down. And then Metcalf is another guy who's going around 5 before Rodgers signs. So it just feels like sticker shock a little bit to me. I don't mind him at 411, but just not very exciting. So like if here in round 4, like who do you like here?
So with the ADPs being different, you got to almost adjust a little bit. Like Harvey's a player that I will reach for at the 4-5 turn, but the ADP is different here, so you got to take advantage of what you're dealing with. Like Henderson and Harvey are steals, just flat out steals in the 6th round. Like this is league winning type, value. But I look at I'm a best player available guy, and the way that I explain it to people is you don't draft hero RB. You don't draft 0 wide receiver. You don't draft robust RB. You draft, and then you reflect back and go, I guess I drafted hero RB. Like it's a sub strategy that you should be, able to perform because you've practiced every one of them, but you're never supposed to cement in your game plan. And so when I get to like round 4, I'm going best player available like I am every draft. And I say Burrow at the end of 4 is league winning. I love Hampton. He's league winning. JD5 is league winning. It does get a little bit thinner, especially the way these ADPs are shaping out. And I just love the next rounds even more. But I think those are the default players I'd lean toward. Breece Hall, sometimes he's at 3.12 here. He can fall in there. Kyra Williams is criminal at 3.10. But if we didn't take him, maybe he would have fallen in there. So it just kind of depends. Evans is kind of risky. Pickens I like, but not that early. He's going way earlier on this platform than when he goes on 5 or 6 in another. So there's some discrepancies here. I won't go near James Cook in the 4th round as my 4th drafted player. Hurts, even though I just ripped him to shreds in fantasy, and while the tush push is still in play this year, he's great at the end of 4. So I guess I would say if you start getting to the point where you're like, I don't really love the players here, if Hampton's gone, you got to look at Joe Burrow and Jaden Daniels. And given that one's at one end and one's at the other end, you're kind of covered. 4th round pick decided if you get to that point.
Yeah, no, I find myself drafting quarterbacks here often. Kittle sometimes too. But now that Hampton's kind of freed up with Najee Harris with his fireworks injuries, then he looks a lot better. So, but I'm still like not a huge fan of round 4. I call it the dead zone. Like round 5 seems better to me. Like there's so many better players I like in round 5. So you could reach on one of them. I just don't like to reach. I'm like you, like just take the best player available. I don't get like people go like, hey, I'm doing 0 running back now, or I'm doing robust running backs. Like what? Like don't plan it. Just draft on who's available. Like if you plan it and like you get this amazing value, and you're like, oh, I'm not taking this guy because I'm doing the strategy. Like this very stupid.
I will try and force stuff to try and show people how to execute upon like a hero RB, but I will divert and abort the mission if it's not close to arguable. You could pretty much argue best player available like at any position for the most part, but then there'll be a certain place like 4th round where you can't, you're like, hey, I have to go here. But you could almost say, I love Harvey and I love Travis Hunter. And so you can best player available is kind of up in the air there. But where I will say reaching kind of is okay to me if you do it very rarely, like once a draft, twice a draft, not throughout the entirety of the draft, is you look at round 6, Henderson and Harvey, love both of them, want both of them. And you can't draft both of them because they're both going back to back. So if you were to reach on one the round prior and you're not happy with those picks, get your guy, draft the other one, and the reaching won't affect you. But it's got to be done in a rare fashion, you know.
Are you nervous about Dobbins in Denver? I mean, I take it no because you like Harvey, but does that scare you at all?
No, because he was one of the worst running backs in the league last year. He was awful. Take the first 2 games out, which I know you're going to say you got to include those, but he was 3.8 yards per carry the entire rest of the way from those after those 2 played games. So he was great in the first 2, but then he was literally the worst running back in the league. And he couldn't run near the goal line at all, to the point where Harbaugh, the most run-heavy minded guy in the world, stopped running the ball and they started throwing at the goal line. And they didn't bring him back for a reason. He's the most injury-prone running back in the entire National Football League. He's got an Achilles tear in his resume. And while Kevin Durant, basketball players, wide receiver, other positions can recover from an Achilles, running backs, there's never in the history of the NFL been a top 10 running back that has had an Achilles tear.
Yeah,
so
we looked at that last year. Yeah.
So if they use him to the tune of him, you know, taking the value of Harvey out, then he's going to get injured. And if they don't use him that much, Harvey's going to be so ultra productive. This guy's got Saquon Barkley quads. He's like Quadzilla. You know, the only other running back you could say is bigger quads is probably Barkley. He's a massive man. He's short, but he's huge. Sean Payton loves him. A reporter asked Sean Payton about J.K. Dobbins' pass protection, and his response was Darren Sproles. Like, he said, Harvey's going to be on the field, and I'm not going to ask him to block linebackers very often, and we will scheme a third down play for him that involves him. Like, you're not taking him off the field because he can't pass protect. You're going to have someone else. He says you drop plays all different ways. He's like, Darren Sproles, I couldn't ask him to block a lot of people. He didn't take him off the field. And so he said, and they also said this when someone said something about J.K. Dobbins, he said, his response, literally the next sentence was, the lifeblood of the team is the NFL draft. And it's like, he's talking about Harvey. And Harvey's such a good runner that he's going to, when he's on the field, outproduce J.K. Dobbins by tenfold. It's going to, so the volume's going to earn him more time. Even if he was to start off slower because of J.K., he won't hit a rookie wall. So, you know, there's pros and cons to getting full volume as a rookie in week 1 anyway. We want it. I'll take it. I'd rather have it, but there's a higher chance of a rookie wall. And if he gets unveiled in week 4 or 5, then he might not hit a rookie wall.
Yeah. I'm bigger on Henderson. I love Henderson. I like that you like him as well. Like they were not happy with Stevenson last year. Like, he got benched a couple of times. And Henderson's just so talented, and he can do stuff Stevenson doesn't. So, like, he's going to be on the field, you know, catching passes and whatnot. And like, it's Vrabel. Like, he's going to run the ball, and they have great offensive line, or not, a better offensive line, I should say, than last year. So they made some good improvements. So I think Henderson's really good in the 6th round too. So
best pass blocking running back in the entire draft class. They drafted, obviously, offensive line at the top of the draft to protect Drake May. They drafted Henderson to protect Drake May. And if you think they're drafting Henderson to not have him out there to block for Drake May, you know, you're crazy. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, Hendy's going to be out there. He's got a 1/3 of the backfield locked down just by being out there on 3rd down. And then all he's got to do is take another 1/3 of the rushing attempts. And then all of a sudden you have Breece Hall workload. And that's all you really want of him anyway. Like, they run the ball 430 times. What do you really want Henderson running? 200? So you have another 250 times that the team needs to run the ball. Of course, not Najee, or I call him Najee, Ramondre. Same thing.
Yeah, basically.
minus an eye patch, same thing. You know, you're getting somebody to do it. If if Najee
Najee
if
Stevenson
doesn't do it, somebody's going to do it, So
Yeah.
it's not like they're just going to hand, like if Stevenson got hurt, they're not just going to hand Henderson all 400 carries. Like you'd break, so he's going to be elusive. He catches everything. He's like when you think Breece Hall, a lot of people have doubts Breece Hall burned him. But if you think Breece Hall or Jahmyr Gibbs in some ways, in Breece Hall's prime, catching the ball and being that 100-yard capable receiver, that's Henderson. He's got so much upside. I love Hendy.
I mean, look, even if you get Breece Hall from last year, round 6 is pretty good for that, So, I mean, he disappointed last year, but I feel like he wasn't 100%. And
love Breece Hall.
I think things were just wrong with the Jets last year, and I mean, things may not be that much better, but I love Membu as the offensive lineman they drafted, and Fashanu at left tackle instead of right tackle where they played him last year. It just feels like he's going to be better. So I think the Jets are a little underrated. I don't think they're going to be good. I just think that people think they're the worst team in the NFL or one of the worst, and I think they could get to 7 wins and be competitive. So the one you mentioned Drake May, the one pick I didn't discuss is 1003. I took Jaden Higgins. I wanted Drake May so badly as our second quarterback. I love Drake May this year. What are your thoughts on him? Because I took Higgins instead. I like Higgins. He's gonna be the receiver too, I think, in Houston, which is fine. But I really wanted May there. Are you big on May?
I like his future, and I'm hopeful. Not rooting against him by any means, and certainly willing to, I can't be on every train conducting it. I know it sometimes sounds like it. We're the highest on this, but that's one that I will admit that I will be glad to get on while it's in mid motion. But am I drafting him to the degree I'm drafting Knicks and drafting Mahomes again, who I think is an absolute steal this year, and the fact that this Rice stuff broke, Mahomes is going to drop even further. But I'm taking Mahomes, Knicks all day, every day over May. And part of that is because, I mean, you just want players that are going to be on explosive teams that are going to live in the red zone. And the Patriots are getting there. And that's why I'm saying I'll get on that train once it's moving full speed. And I think it can. It might take a year. It might not. Definitely love Henderson no matter what. I love Kyle Williams. Hopefully he pans out. Maybe Diggs stays healthy. Hard to say. There's McLaurin rumors to the Patriots, which I don't think will work out. But this is a good team that's on the rise, but they're probably a year out before they're so high octane that I'm passing on Knicks or Mahomes, or even Kyler or Fields. And maybe Dak and Baker. I'd take them over Goff. I'd take them over Purdy. I'd take them over Caleb. I'd take them over McCarthy, Stroud. I wish I could take Herbert over him, but Herbert's handcuffed in that offense. So May's got potential to be that good. That's pretty respectable there, putting him right below Kyler, Baker, and Dak.
Yeah, he has the second easy schedule in the NFL, according to my power rankings, which Slew is one of our commenters here. He put that together. The Niners had the easy schedule, and the Patriots had the second easy schedule. So I found that interesting, and I think that he has insane upside too. So
good runner, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he has the cheat code with his running ability. Kind of reminds me of Josh Allen coming out. Allen in year 1 was super raw, but you saw glimpses. Same thing with May last year. He made a lot of mistakes, but you saw the upside sometimes. And I think that he can make a big leap in year 2. He has Henderson. He has the improved offensive line. He's a better coaching staff. Maybe some of those receivers pan out. We'll see about if Diggs is healthy, and Kyle Williams could be good, maybe. But he's a good rapport with Douglas apparently. So I think I like him a lot as my QB too. And you mentioned the guys that you would take before him, like Mahomes and Fields and Murray. Like those guys are going early before him anyway. He's going round 10. I feel like he should go in round 9. So I think there's good value within round 10. Unfortunately, we didn't get him here, but that's okay. I still like our draft. So to review it real quick. So our running backs, we went running back heavy. Genty, Kyron Williams, and Amarian Hampton to start. And then we took some high upside sleepers like Orlando, Algier. If Bijan goes down, he's going to have a huge year. Shipley, Brashard Smith. So potential league winners here, which I like a lot. Receivers, A.J. Brown, Travis Hunter, Roma Dunze, Emeka Buka, Jaden Higgins, Pat Bryant. I like our receiving core. MVS at the end just because he has 3 spike weeks every year. And that's all you want out of your round 20 guy. And then our quarterbacks, Bo Nix, Michael Penix, and Daniel Jones. Our tight ends are Tyler Warren, Kyle Pitts, and Terrence Ferguson. I like our team a lot. Now, obviously, like anytime you draft, you're going to like the team, but I think this is pretty good. I think this could be one of the top two finishers in this pod. So any thoughts on this team?
No, it's a good squad. Probably a team I like. I don't like some of the picks after the top 4, but like that number 3 spot. I love Gibbs. Bucky Irving is a player that I think could finish number 4, number 3 out of all running backs in 2025. So Gibbs and Bucky's a smash. I love Marv bouncing back. I like Garrett Wilson a little more if he could have taken him. And then Hurts is a good pick there. I probably would have taken Burrow myself, but then I'm not a big Ted McMillan fan. Like that's a good team right there. But I like how it started.
Mm-hmm.
I hate those wide receiver teams.
Yeah,
like
the fifth guy, yeah.
but he landed a Harvey with that 6.8, and then Pacheco, who knows? So he could pull it off. Like there's a pretty decent attempt at it. He got real fortunate with that.
Tracy 95.
But I usually hate those stabs at it. I just think they're overblown data crunchers that read somewhere that you have a higher likelihood of this or that. Yeah, but you got to land the picks.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you try the. I mean, who would you say are if you had to nail 3 players that are must drafts for you this year? What are your 3?
In what rounds or like any rounds?
Yeah.
Well, I love Igbuka in round 8. I think that like potential league winner. You talk about like potential league winners. I think Igbuka for sure. I love Ricky Pearsall too. You talked about Matt McCaffrey maybe going down. Like I think that he's definitely going to miss time. Like he hasn't finished 3 out of his last 5 seasons. So if he misses like 5-6 games plus, I think Pearsall could have a big season, and like he's his agility scores were off the charts entering the NFL. He was my number 1 sleeper last year until he got shot, and then it became Brian Thomas Jr., which that worked out. But like I loved him last year. He came in at the end of last year, and I don't know if he was 100% healthy, and he looked good. And now he's like, it's his job. Like Debo's gone. Ayuk has torn ACL and MCL. Juwan Jennings is talking about holding out. Maybe I don't think he will, but like he's talking about it. Like Kittle's 32. But it feels like Pearsall could have a huge season. I've been drafting him around 7 a lot. So I'm going those 2 receivers as far as like, and then Garendo round 12. As I said, like Garendo, I feel like round 12 comes around, let's just snap take Garendo. Couple other guys like I like Odunze a lot. He's not on that level, but he's close to there. In round 1, I love Malik Neighbors. I think he could be the receiver 1 next year. He's just so talented, and there's no competition for targets there. And the quarterbacks like Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, and Jackson Dart don't sound great. But he had Tommy DeVito and Drew Lock last year after Jones got hurt. Like that's like those guys he has now are like Dan Marino and John Elway compared to those other guys. So so like he's gonna have an upgrade there. So anytime we can get Neighbors in the second half of round 1, I try to do it. Like he's my highest owned guy in the first round. I love AJ Brown. Third round, I feel like I take Jackson Smith and Jigba a lot. He's not like a must draft, but like I feel like I take him a lot. And then it's usually one of the quarterbacks in round 4. But now that Hampton is kind of freed up by the Harris injury, then that's gonna be more with him. I love Calvin Ridley too. I'm kind of curious on your opinion on Ridley, just because he had the most air yards, unrealized air yards last year. It's just because like his quarterbacks are so bad. Yeah. His quarterbacks are so bad, and I feel like people forgot how good he was in Atlanta. And obviously he had Matt Ryan, but like I like Cam Ward. I like his accuracy. I like his work ethic. So even if he's not great his first year, he's still going to be a lot better than Levis and Rudolph. So I think that I think he should be going like round 4 instead of round 5.
Love Cam Ward.
Yeah, I love him too. He's my highest owned quarterback in best ball, 27%. So usually I get Ridley and then I get Cam Ward around 13. So what are your thoughts on Ridley?
I like Ridley. I love A.O. Minor a lot too. I think he has some upside, but I think Ridley's got a shot at really finally delivering what we wanted to, or at least a fraction of it would be enough at his ADP. But Ward's really the player I really like in Tennessee. Tajay Spears I like a lot too. They're going to balance that out, they said, over there versus leaning all on Pollard. And I think checking down to Spears is going to become a thing. But I would say I'm more of a fan of Cam Ward than Ridley. But I do like Ridley. Ridley's burned everybody so many years. I think it's more about staying clear because of that more than anything. You know, it's like I know the talent's there, but he didn't do too bad last year actually. But he's still hard to trust. You know what I mean? Like, and as he gets older, you got to worry about that. But I think he's okay. I think he's fine. I mean, at his ADP, there's nothing wrong with it. It's definitely a good pick.
Yeah. So who are you? Who do you like a lot? I mean, obviously you said Henderson and Harvey.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Well, I mean, I'll start off by just saying Bijan at 6 is crazy because he's my number one. You know, Bijan is my number one overall player. But I would say what you see trending with me would be Genti, Achan, Bucky, obviously.
I love Bucky.
And Kyron in the 3rd, 4th round's crazy. Love Chase Brown. We loved Chase Brown last year. MHA Garrett Wilson later. Love Bo Nix, Mahomes. Probably, I would say when someone thinks of me, when one of my followers thinks of me, they probably think Harvey, Hendy, Travis Hunter, and Hampton.
Okay.
the quadruple H's, I think, is what usually. That's probably the way someone would describe me right now.
The quad H,
I love those players. Just, you know, deeper in a draft, I love Thornton, the rookie receiver for the Raiders.
Love Thornton too. Yeah,
I think he could be phenomenal. I think if you know, looking around the board here, players that pop out to me, Garendo's a freaking league winner, as we discussed. I love Jaden Blue. I love Ray Davis. I think we're gonna get a what I call a midseason monster out of one or two of those guys minimum. And you know, I've always liked. I love Brashard Smith. I've always liked Dylan Sampson more than Judkins. And so I've been beating that drum for a while. And I'm not trying to say he's guilty or innocent, but the league looks at these things in crazy ways that a lot of us don't even agree with. And the odds of him playing week 1 are, in my opinion, not as good as the odds of him not playing week 1 at this point. And every day it gets worse. And there's even a chance he doesn't even get signed by the Browns.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. Mary Kay Cabot, and I mean, you mentioned this in the show that, like, she said that he may not be signed for a while, but something else she said was that the Browns have been doing a lot of work on domestic violence over the past 2 years, and so this is like, you know, the worst team possible for that to happen for Judkins, you know, so. Yeah, we don't know what happened. Obviously, like maybe he's innocent. Who knows? But like as long as we don't know, like, he's not going to get signed. I agree with you. I think that I'd be shocked if he plays week 1 at this point. And I won't like. Yeah. I think there's like you said. I agree. I think there's a chance that he doesn't play at all this year. So I would. Go ahead.
And Ford will start week 1. Most likely, but Dylan Sampson, they love as a pass catcher. He'll be eventually the 3rd down back, and then it's just a matter of, like with Hampton, with Najee, and like Hendy with Stevenson, that once they get in there, it's just they're going to outshine, and then they're going to get more and more and more work.
Yeah, Sampson's going to catch 1 million passes this year because they're going to be behind in almost every game. Although I do think they're going to beat the Bengals in week 1, but out after that, like, they're going to be behind in almost every game, and so they're going to have to dump passes off to Sampson. So I've been drafting Sampson like pretty aggressively lately in round 14. So it's a shame he didn't come back to us. I think I would have taken him in round 14, but I do like Algier too. Not on the same level as Garendo, but you know, and Bijan's awesome, but like what if he gets hurt? Like, suddenly Algier is going to win this league for us, you know? And Judkins went round 9 in this draft, which I think is crazy. I wouldn't touch him. I don't think I'd touch him until like round 15 or 16. And I don't even know if I'd take him there just because I don't know if he's going to play. So, I mean, I feel like we covered almost everything. You know, great show. Bucky Irving, real quick, you mentioned on your show, I would urge anyone listening to check out your channel, the Fantasy Football Show. You had a great debate I think it was last night, who's the running back 1, or like who's the surprise running back 1, and you brought up Bucky Irving. That was my pick. I think that he could have a ridiculous season, and I think there's a chance Rachaad White's going to be traded, maybe to like Dallas or something. So if that happens, like Bucky Irving's going to be insane. So yeah, I love the talent, love the opportunity there. You know, they're going to feed him the ball a lot, which we didn't see in the first half of last year. But now it's his job. You know, Rashad White's just going to be a third down back, and he could be traded anyway. So,
and he's not even really the cuff either, because if Bucky were to go down, Sean Tucker would start. Yeah. But Rashad would still be in his third down role, because Bucky's going to be a 3-down back, but Rashad White will be on the field, because Bucky can't handle 500 touches, so it's a high octane offense. It's still going to be without Liam Cohen. So yeah. And Rashad White, I don't know if you noticed, but Rashad White came out and said that this is his last year in Tampa. And you don't hear stuff like that for those watching that go to regular Joes that go to work every day, and imagine going into your boss's office and being like, this is my last 6 months I'm here. Like you don't do
right.
that. Like he's obviously hearing things he doesn't like. He obviously wants out. Trade discussion later on in the year. You're right, certainly going to be in the cards. Him and Kenneth Walker, probably two of the more likely running backs to get traded if running backs do get traded midseason. But yeah, I mean that just hearing that, he doesn't love the pecking order, and Sean Tucker delivered in monstrous fashion when he was injected into the lineup briefly last year.
Yeah, totally agree. So that was my pick. So yeah, definitely check out the Fantasy Football Show for that, as well as lots of other great content. Love your live streams and whatnot. So we had one other comment. I wanted to say this at the end because it was his golf. Put round 1 PJ leaders prediction to ChatGPT Wednesday to pick Jacob Olesen, who won at 150 to 1. That's awesome, Patrick. Congrats. We didn't hit our round 1 leader this week. We did last weekend. We had 100 to 1 winner and 150 to 1 winner. There was a dead heat, so it was nice. But it was we do some golf stuff here too. So
nice.
I
need to have you on specifically during draft season, because you kind of made your name in the NFL mock draft and NFL like rookie, prospect, like that's where you've kind of I think made your name, right? For the most part, that was where I know you do a lot of fantasy too, but love to have you on during that time when we break down some rookies for the 2026 season for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Can't wait for that. We do everything on the site, like picks against the spread too. So we try to cover everything. So we'd love to do that. We'd love to have you on again. Maybe if you're willing, a little bit later on.
Anytime.
I'll be in Vegas next week. You guys, just a heads up for next week. The only show we'll have is on Tuesday and Saturday, just because I'll be in Vegas. But we'll be back Saturday. We're actually going to be talking about cash secured puts and covered calls. not really football stuff, but there's free money in the stock market, and people don't know that. I tell people all the time, like, they just give money away for free in the stock market, and people are like, you're crazy, like it's like a crazy man like holding up a sign in the middle of the street. But it's true. Like, you can actually get paid to buy stocks at a cheaper price than they are, and like no one knows about it. So we're going to be talking about that. I've been promising the show for months, just because I keep talking about it. So we're going to do that show Saturday, and then next week the 2 shows, and they're going to be full swing after that. So all right, Smitty, thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it. Check out the Fantasy Football Show for more of Smitty's takes, and like he says, he goes live whenever there's breaking news. So check out what he has to say about the breaking news. And everyone else, please, thanks for watching, commenting. Please like, subscribe, comment below this video. Visit the link in the description for the merch store. Check out waltsterfootball.com, and I will talk to you guys on Saturday.